There isn't much that separates us from the animals. We have opposable thumbs, we don't eat on the ground, and we subscribe to great channels like this one. Please subscribe. Don't be an animal. Today, I'm going to show you how to build this 8-foot long picnic table. It's made out of just pressure treated construction lumber. Simple build, only took me about a day to do, and we're going to get started on it pretty much right now because there's not much more to say on it. You've seen a picnic table before. Let's go. If you haven't seen a picnic table before, man, are you in for a surprise? Come on. So before we get started, I just want to say I did not draw the plans for this picnic table. It's an 8-foot picnic table, 6-foot, 8-foot. Picnic tables in general, from what I have seen, are all pretty much the same. There's not a lot of variation to them. But because I did not specifically draw these plans, I don't want to steal somebody else's work and pass it off as my own. Plagiarism, that's just not me. What I have done is I've put a link in the description to go to this website so that you can find these plans and follow along off of them. There's still plenty to get from this video, don't get me wrong. I'm going to give some angles and little tricks that I used to put this together that weren't in the original plans, but I'm not going to give as many measurements, I guess is really what most of the deviation is from some of my previous videos if you've been watching them. So anyway, I just wanted to be upfront with you. Without any further ado, let's get started. Come on. Here's a list of the materials that I'll be using today. I used pressure-treated lumber. It's going to be outdoors. Picnic tables in general live outdoors, so I wanted it to last for a long time. And so did my client. The screws have a rating for outdoor use as well as the galvanized hardware, just to keep it from rusting, at least for a while. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set my miter saw to 30 degrees. And then from there, I'm going to cut 3 pieces. These are 2x4s. And I'm cutting these at 30 degrees on both sides. The angle is going to look like this. I'll cut the 30-degree angle on one end, and then I readjust my saw and I cut the 30 degrees on the other end. And these 3 pieces are going to attach to the tabletop, and then legs will build off of these as well. As I said, we're going to build 3 of these. Once those pieces are cut, I'm going to go and move to the legs, and the angle on the legs is going to look like this. And I'll do the same as before. I'll cut the angle on one end, only instead of readjusting my saw, I leave the saw in place, then I cut the angle on the other side. Now the angles are parallel. And we've got a leg. I have taken the long 2x4 pieces and I'm going to be putting pocket holes in these. Later on, the seat will attach by these pocket holes. And I do about 5, I think I did 5 holes in these. I also want to put pocket holes in those first pieces we cut. These pieces here, this has pocket holes on the back side. That way you can screw from the top if you don't want to do pocket holes. You'll see the screws. I didn't want the screws to be visible, so I did pocket holes. I'm using a 1/4 inch spacer to hold my pieces apart. Then I just go through and I screw everything in. And I'm going to have one in the middle, and there's also going to be one on the far end. I'll do a quick double check to make sure everything's in place, and then I'll screw everything down. At the far end, my boards were really warping and pulling together, so I had to use a lot more spacers here to separate them before I screwed them down. On the 2x6 legs, I'm drilling 3/8 holes. I've come from the 30-degree angle to the center of those holes. That's 1 3/4 inches. That will put me in the center of my 3.5 inch 2x4. I line the board up with that second board on the tabletop, as you can see, give it a clamp. Then I'm going to finish drilling those holes through the 2x4. Now I know they'll be perfectly lined up. And I'll hammer a carriage bolt in from the front to the back. I like the rounded side facing out, it just looks neater. I'm going to take my razor knife, and any of the wood shavings that came through the hole are going to gum up my threads, so I just want to make sure that's clean, plus it'll look nicer. Throw the washer on and then the nut. Then I'll come back through with a socket wrench and tighten those down. And I'm using a 9/16 socket. I don't want to go so hard that I'm pulling these into the wood, but just get them nice and snug. From there, I'm going to go and do the same to the other side. Here's a little trick for when your angle extends beyond where your measurement's going to line up. I'm just setting a square on top of the leg, and then I'm coming down to measure where my seat height will end up. The seat support, with its 30-degree angles, looks like this. Once I've measured the height of where my seat support is going to go, I'm going to take some clamps and line them up on those marks. This will give me a shelf to set my seat support on without asking for help. And with that lined up and even on both sides, I'm going to clamp it, and then I'll lay out my holes. So I'm eyeballing where my leg goes. Here's a drawing of that. And you'll see that I'm coming over 2 3/4 from the edge, and then I come in 1.5 inches from the top and the bottom. And then I just drill the holes straight through. Once the holes are drilled, I'll bang in my carriage bolts. Then from the back side, I'll tighten down the nuts. I had to take this outside because it became too big for my shop. What I'm doing here is, again, I'm using my clamps as a shelf, and I'm going to take those long seat supports that we had put pocket holes in earlier. Now, make sure your pocket holes are going in the right direction. As I'm putting this in, I have the pocket holes facing, so when I put a screw in, they'll come out the bottom, because I was a dingleberry. So I had to, once I did all this, off camera, I took the whole thing apart, flipped them around, and made it so the holes were going the right way. This was the only board I screwed up on. I thankfully caught it before I did the rest. Just minor little things that slow you down. But I'm using the 3-inch deck screws to attach these from the outside. Now it's time to do a little trades yoga. This is how you stay in shape. Squeeze my old ass underneath this table. And I'm putting myself in this uncomfortable position so that I can put our cross bracing on. And the cross bracing piece looks like this. I'm going to measure to the center, and then what I'm going to do is my cross bracing is going to offset on either side of that center line. Here, I'll show you what I mean in a better drawing. You can see that the colored pieces are offset on my center line. What this does is it allows me to screw in both sides. If I line them up evenly, I'll only be able to screw one in, won't be able to get screws into the other one. I'm going to use my square to make sure that this is straight. And I'm using 3-inch deck screws to attach all of these. I like to use all my appendages when I need to. As you can see, I'm using my toe to hold the bottom in while I screw the top in. And you can also see from this angle how that offset works to our advantage. Now I'm able to screw in the top without that board getting in the way. And I'll go and I'll screw the other side, and from there we're going to move on to the seats. One thing I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, none of this lumber was actually the same length. I don't understand why they can't get it right, but these are all 8-foot boards, but they were 96.5, 96 1/4. So I just went through and made sure every single one of these was exactly 96 inches. It really throws off your measurements if you're using boards that you assumed were perfectly 8 feet. These seat ends line up with the ends of the table. I'll use the pocket screws to attach the seat along its length. I am, however, going to have a couple screws showing. On the very end, it was still kind of lifting a little bit. So instead of drilling more pocket holes, I'm using tan deck screws, so they don't really show up, and it really makes it solid. You can see that I'm using that 1/4-inch spacer that I used for the top boards for these seats as well. And I'm just going to go through, hit all the pocket screws, and hit these 2 screws on the very top as well. I think I have a better appreciation now why every school vacation my dad would drag me along on all his plumbing jobs. He didn't want to go in crawl spaces. I get it now. I should have had my daughter do this. Next time, little does she know. Anyway, I'm going along the length and I'm hitting all the pocket screws here. What I should have done is put the other side. What the hell are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay, it's solid. Yeah, okay. Crawl yourself out from under there. Ooh, yep, you make it look so easy, like a turtle on its back. Uh-huh. Woo! Sorry, ladies, this one's taken. Anyway, as I was saying, I should have put this side on as well, because while I was already under the table, I could have done this side. But no! I did that side, came over on this side. Now I've got to crawl back under the table to then fix this. Or not fix this, but finish it. There he is. So, little plan ahead next time, or learn from my mistakes and do it before you crawl under there. Unless you like doing it. I don't know. It's up to you. Once all the boards are in place, I'm taking 60 grit sandpaper and I'm going over the whole thing. There are ink stamps and whatnot on here that I wanted to get off, as well as just making it smooth. Then I'll come back through with 120 grit. And here we have it, a completed picnic table. Nice and solid, and I think it came out great. I hope yours did as well. I'm going to spend the rest of my nice afternoon, because I don't get many here in Maine, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to just plan my next project. If you don't want to miss any of my projects, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. I've got a lot of past projects and I have so much more to come. Until the next time though, thanks for coming and see you later. Bye.